Hello, everybody. This is Aaron, and this is the Oxrageous post-game podcast for Florida and South Carolina. Quite honestly, I wasn't planning on doing a podcast this week. I didn't feel like I had anything to say, honestly. The situation is what it is, and I was tired of beating the drum. Honestly, I'd become tired of listening to myself. But that was an extraordinary game, and I felt compelled. And I felt compelled because it was such a perfect illustrative game of the Will Muschamp era at Florida. Really, if you could point to any one game and say, that's the Will Muschamp era, it could have been this one. There's a few other candidates, but this one's as good as any of the others. And Muschamp's done this before, where he allows the fan base to get a little bit of hope again and think things are turning in a better direction, and then he stomps the life out of us. Florida had won 2 games in a row. And in those 2 games, they had run the ball 110 times and passed 27. And 21 of those 27 passes were against the worst team in the SEC and one of the worst teams in the country, Vanderbilt. So me personally, I really didn't think much had changed. We've watched this team for years. We've watched this coach for years. I didn't think we were that improved. But I've been trying to keep that opinion more to myself. I don't like being a downer on my own team. I don't like it. And I don't like the corner I've been painted into. So here we go into this game, and South Carolina had been struggling mightily. Defense, the worst Spurrier's ever had. The question is, what was Florida going to do? Are they going to finally start passing some? I mean, this team can be passed on. Big time they can be passed on. Spurrier has an extra week to prepare. I thought they'd come out slinging the ball, and they did. The first 2 drives, they went down and scored easily. And I was thinking, because Florida's not really the best team to get coming from behind. It's bad news. But then the defense totally clamped down. They clamped down and they got into Thompson's head, and he was terrible for really the entire remainder of the game. And the Gators got the ball back, and they did what they do. They were running the ball. They had Harris carrying the ball a lot. They weren't throwing the ball. In other words, we were seeing what we always see. We were seeing Muschamp ball. We ended up with 11 passes and 49 runs, which to Will Muschamp is balance. But when Florida went up 17-10, they were in control, even though they were only up 1 score, because South Carolina could not move the football. And Florida gets the ball back, and they drive down the field, and they're inside the 10, and do they go for a touchdown? No, that's not what Will Muschamp does. We're going to play it safe. We're going to play it conservative. We're going to play for 3. We're going to go up 2 scores, and that'll be game. Well, what happens? A massive special teams breakdown, an easy block. Whoops, South Carolina's still in the game. Well, they stopped South Carolina again. More great plays by the defense. Florida gets the ball back. They have a chance to run the clock out, get a first down, the game is over. What do? Run, run, run. Let's play it safe. And then another massive special teams breakdown. Block punt. And at that point, you knew South Carolina was going to tie it up. So, of course, they did. And if Thompson hadn't got injured on that touchdown, Spurrier may have gone for 2 and ended it right there. But it went overtime. Florida gets the ball first. What do? Do they try to score a touchdown? Run on first down, run on second down, throw a 1-yard pass on third down, field goal, give it back, the game is over. Everybody knew the game was over. It was classic Will Muschamp, playing not to lose. And from what I saw in Gator chatter, because you sit in a room, basically, in a live chat room with a bunch of other Gator fans, and to see their reactions throughout the game, and everybody wants to win. But it was still 1970s Woody Hayes football. It wasn't the kind of football that we know we're going to be winning championships with in the future. So a lot of people were still nervous. How long is this going to go on? Is Will Muschamp going to be retained? Are we going to do this again next year? Because, Treon Harris is a talented player. I really like him. He's super athletic, and he's got a good arm. I think with the right coaching, he could be fantastic. If Steve Spurrier was coaching him, imagine the numbers Treon Harris could put up. But not only was no one surprised that we lost in that fashion, no one was surprised. For so many of us, there was almost a sense of relief, because most of us view this as the final nail in the coffin to end this maddening era of Gator football. All of us have aged 20 years in the last 4. Very little about the last 4 years has been fun. Most of the wins were by the skin of our teeth, and they weren't fun. People say, it's all about winning. That's not true. It's never been true. Football is entertainment. Entertainment matters. You want to criticize me for saying that? Then criticize me. No one wants to watch Woody Hayes football anymore. It's the 21st century. And there's no reason to. With so many innovative coaches out there, that would kill for the kind of resources of Florida. So that will finally end the talk that Florida could still win the East, which likely wasn't going to happen anyway. It'll probably kill the talk that Muschamp's going to be retained. They're not going to do anything with Muschamp now. He'll finish out the season. But December 1st, the Monday following the FSU game, that's a big day for Florida football. It could be the day we can finally move on and stop being divided and torn up and infighting because of this coach. We can move towards being a united fan base again. I believe someone said that Muschamp's going to have a losing record in the SEC 3 out of his 4 years. Needless to say, that's unacceptable. We can do better. I've been doing this podcast for a year and a half. I think this is number 36 or 37. And I've said so many times, there's brighter days ahead. I've been saying that a year and a half, there's brighter days ahead. Well, I'm saying it again. And I may actually be right this time. We will look back on this era someday and chuckle about it. The era we almost all killed each other. In fact, maybe that's a great lucrative t-shirt idea for Gator fans after Muschamp is dismissed. I survived the Will Muschamp era at Florida. Probably sell thousands of those things. Saying that, we got at FSU in 2 weeks. Wouldn't it be great to beat them under these circumstances? Maybe the players, they know it's Muschamp's last game, whatever. Rise up and beat those jerks. Because they are overdue. I'll tell you what. That's one thing that the fan base can all be united on, is beating Florida State. So at any rate, it's the holidays. No reason to be stressed anymore about Gator football. Let's play out the string. We're going to beat Western Kentucky, whoever we play next week. We're going to be bowl eligible. We're going to get a bowl game. So we can just enjoy them, pull for our Gators, and keep an eye towards the future. Don't know who they'd hire. That's still up in the air, but there's going to be a lot of talk about that. So, as usual, I appreciate you listening to my blather. Everybody enjoy your week, and go Gators.